you. For the record, it's 8:04 p.m., come out of executive session. With that being said, we have item E, 4E, on the agenda, that being the appointment of Budget and Finance Officer. You have a memo in your packet from myself dated September 23rd for the appointment of Sarah Turnipseed as Budget Officer and Finance Director. I offer my appointment of Sarah Turnipseed as the city's next Budget Officer and Finance Director to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Shannon Hansen. If I could have a motion for that appointment.
And Mr. Mayor, do you want the motion to reflect the salary that we discussed?
I do. So the motion that I'm asking for, the recommended motion, would be a motion to consenting to the appointment of Sarah Turnipseed as the city's budget officer and finance director at a salary of $95,000 per year. Motion by Alderman Stevens, second by Alderman Peterson. Any discussion, any questions regarding the motion on the floor? Alderman Fleury?
Just a comment, just to say that what we said before, just that Sarah's a top-notch employee, and I think this is a great appointment. I think she'll do great in the job.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments or
I
questions?
concur.
Questions?
I'll third it.
All right. All right. All right.
It's a third.
All right. So the motion on the floor, we have a vote on the motion on the floor. All those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Fleury,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
A resounding aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
10 in favor.
All right. Motion passed. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much.
All right. Next, we have approval of Landmark Development Inc. Settlement Agreement. If I could have a motion to approve that and send it to the council, please. Motion by Alderman Albertini, second by Alderwoman Mulhall. You had your hand up? Any discussion, questions regarding that, which will come back to you pending whatever transpires here. But based on this agreement, if there's any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman, Gramkowski,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Fleury,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And last, we have item G, elected official salaries. Alderman Stevens had asked that this be placed on the agenda this evening. I would turn it over to Alderman Stevens.
I was gonna bring up that we get paid per meeting. You know, we got 4 meetings a month. If you're here, you get paid. If you're not, you don't. So it'd be just the 4, meetings that we are currently, council and then committee.
Okay,
And if you miss one, you lose 1/4 of your monthly salary.
okay. Is that
I've always thought we should do this, and
is that a motion?
that is a
on the
motion
floor?
to do that.
Motion then on the floor as stated. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Peterson. And for discussion, I know that Alderwoman Mulhall.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't agree that we're paid by meeting. It's a salary, and there's a lot of work that we do outside of the meetings. Personally, I know that I do miss meetings, but I have 2 other jobs and I do travel for that, and it's, it's a priority. I have to do that to pay my bills, but I still answer phone calls. I still respond to texts and emails, and I respond to nearly every single person that contacts me in some way. So there is time spent outside of that, and sometimes just there's times in life that things happen, so I don't really think that I'm in support of that. And I do have a question. If this were to pass, does that go into effect immediately or after May 1st?
First thing I'd have to do, because obviously we're talking pretty vaguely right now about per meeting, is we have to establish the per meeting rate, whether it be simply take the existing salary and divide by the number of meetings or what have you. And then I'd have to introduce an ordinance that work its way through council. But under the Illinois Municipal Code, and we have not changed that with our local ordinance, nor do I think we could necessarily. That's one of those areas where it's probably governed by state law no matter what we do. Because of the Constitution, the salary of a sitting alderman cannot change during their term of office. So it would not go into effect until May 1 for those aldermen that won their seats this coming election. That'd be 5 of you, and then it would not go into effect for the remaining 5 until the next municipal election.
So if we're not sure that we can even do this, could we table this discussion and find out, and
No,
then?
you can do it.
Oh.
You just can't make it effective immediately. It'd be effective for half of May 1 of '25, and the other half 2 years after that. No, it is legal to do it.
You have to meet the 180-day requirement?
Yep.
Uh,
Yes.
We're still within that 180 days, I think.
didn't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine we are. I don't know.
I did the calculations a while back. I don't have that in front of me.
Alderman Peterson had his hand up first, and Alderman Fleury.
My point would be that, when we're not voting on something, we're not conducting official business, we have no more or less authority to do anything for anybody except when we occupy this seat in a regular or special meeting. That's where we're counted. So I do think we let our constituents down if we're not here to, we all say we want to be their voice, but we can't do that unless we're actually taking official action. That it might be possible we would consider that extended absences would create a penalty assessed by council action, but I don't know any other way to do it. But the voters need to probably be able to correct mistakes that are made in terms of representation.
Effectively, docking pay of that nature would not be constitutional. You have to set the salary, and it can be on a per meeting basis, which accomplishes the same goal. But you could not have the council effectively choose to take salary away at any given time point from an alderperson. That would violate the Constitution as well as state law.
I guess I was under the understanding that the council, by their own ordinances, could penalize for non-attendance if, they could establish that there would be some forfeiture, but I could have misread that.
Yeah, not a salary, but they could of office. If there's extended absences that are not warranted, the council can find that the seat's abandoned.
Alderman Fleury, and then Alderman Grabkowski.
Thank you, Mayor. So, understand the concern of wanting to make sure everyone's here. So not a concern for me. I've only missed 2 meetings in 5 years of serving here. So, not a concern for me, but I think also we have to take in consideration that, life does happen. I mean, there could be funerals, sickness, things like that. So if we do this, can there be a way to make an amendment like, well, I don't know what the number is, but if you can miss 4 a year or 10 or whatever that number might be, is that something you could amend, or does it have to be per meeting and that's it, with no exceptions?
I'd have to research that one. I don't know if you can do that. You'd be setting it ahead of time, so it's not like the council's changing a salary by effectively taking away later on. It's set 180 days before the election. But I've never heard of anybody actually going that route, so I'd have to do some research.
Right, because I understand that there is a purpose here that, our main role, if you will, is when we're here voting for stuff. I understand that in the same sense that, like, Alderman Mulhall made, some concerns about, her actual full-time jobs. Although we're full-time employees to our citizens, I mean, our alderman pay doesn't pay the bills. It's our careers that pay that. So I think there needs to be some kind of way to mend both of those things, where we don't have people absent from meetings for, half the year, but also not penalizing somebody who misses a meeting or two, or whatever that number is, but is not being financially burdened by that, because, like I said, there is a lot of work that happens outside these halls too. So I think we just need to be able to find a way to blend those two.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Grabkowski.
Thank you, Mayor. I do agree on pay per meeting. I know life happens, it happens for me, but you also make a commitment. The commitment includes Monday night meetings, the commitment includes the other 6 days that you're working for your constituents. I know I have a job, I'm gonna be out of town next week, thank God that it's a non-meeting, but I think if we're elected or appointed for this position, we need to be here, no matter what. I would miss my grandson's baseball game or whatever. I would not go shopping or whatever it is. I think we need to be here.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Frank.
Yeah, I agree with Natalie Mulhall, but I also agree with Sandy Gromkowski that we should be here, especially when a constituent showed up and it was from a constituent that brought it up. So it must meant something to them. But my question is, when I missed, or when a couple people missed and we voted for the appointment of Jerry Hoynes, and I voted against him and the other alderman voted against him, he would have been voted in if there would have been everybody there. So that's where it's important, if it's a vote that somebody needs to be there to vote and they're not being represented.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Alderman Albertini?
Thank you, Mayor. I think it's called a salary for a reason. You get paid per year to do a job. I understand some people have intentions that this is a side job, maybe. I don't know. I've been here pretty attentively, but I feel if I had to miss it for a reason, I shouldn't be penalized. I put in quite a bit of hard work at my job, fielding calls, dealing with people, doing everything I can to do my job. But just because I miss a meeting, I don't feel I should be penalized for it. And I believe the word salary says it for itself. It's a salary. So we should get paid for here or not here.
Okay. Alderman McGee?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't believe that just by missing a meeting, you should be penalized without pay. I don't think that any of us stop working for our constituents when we're not here on Mondays. So that's how I see it.
Okay. Alderwoman Frank?
I think in the past, I sat next to an alderman that missed quite a bit, that at the very end, we had to say that his seat was vacant, so we had to take action to get him to remove himself. So if that's, Alderman Borowitz.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if that's the case, if we have repeated absenteeism, there is a way that we could, talk to them. And I think before me, it was Alderman Schrader too. She was hospitalized for a while. So it does come up, and maybe we need to address this.
Okay. All right. We have a motion on the floor. That motion is essentially, correct me if I'm sorry. Oh, did your hand just come up?
It did.
Oh, all right. Alderman Burden.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Didn't mean to interrupt, just kind of jumped ahead. Just thought I'd throw in some comments here. I agree with some people, the job is more than just the meetings here. I mean, it is, we handle phone calls and emails and texts and all that stuff. And I want to clarify, if I'm not here, there's a really good reason why I'm not here. But we won't get into that right now. Just so, I'll probably support whatever you guys throw out here too. Just some couple quick questions here, maybe just some thoughts. Will this apply to all elected officials, mayor, clerk, treasurer, not trying to single anybody out, but we don't know, we got an election coming up. we don't know what's gonna happen here. What if the next mayor never comes to the meeting? Just something to think about. And then I, throwing a bunch of stuff out here at once. I kind of like the days thing, you know, because, you know, people said life does happen, you know, and to say something happens, you know, that the person doesn't want to happen, and then you're kind of just throwing, you know, insult to injury at that point. So I'd be in favor, you know, I think maybe like 6 days in a year, 5 or 6 days. If you miss, I don't know, it's just an idea, miss 6 days, then maybe you start missing pay. But again, you know, you're still doing work the rest of the week, so it's like, hopefully, you know, everybody still answers their phone and helps people. I guess those are just the only points I wanted to make, so if anybody wants to make an amendment, you know, that's fine, but thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a Alderwoman,
I would say,
Yes. I'm sorry. No. So the motion on the floor.
My question was before about, you know, putting in days. I think the attorney said he'd have to check into that if that's even a viable option. But I would be in support of this if there were some kind of days built in, because I think that, I mean, I get it, it's not going to make everyone happy. Like maybe you miss 15 meetings a year and it's only going to cover 6, but I think that kind of blends in with people that say you have to be here for every single meeting. That isn't always realistic, and for people that have other commitments that keep them from coming here, so some kind of blend in between. So I think I would say we'd have to table this until we get an answer of, can we put in some days? Because I wouldn't be in support of, you know, you have to be here for every meeting. Even though I'm here, that doesn't work for everybody.
I'll throw it back as 2 options, and I realize that could have been a motion to postpone, so I guess we should decide that. But you could either amend the motion tonight along those lines, and if you can't do it, I'll simply let you know next Monday night, and you then, when it comes back in order's form, amend it back to the original motion. Or you could motion to postpone. It's up to the council, which is the committee.
Alderwoman Graham-Kowski?
Well, after further thought, to John's point about it is a job, and then to Mr. Raritan's point about missing, we have, 52 meetings? I recommend, or I would like, we'll have sick days then. You get 1 a quarter. I think that's fair.
I would make a motion to postpone to get the further guidance on that, because I think it sometimes sends a wrong message to the voters if we vote yes tonight and then you change your vote to no because of a change in the motion. So I would motion to postpone this until we get clarification if we can put days in or not.
I second that.
Sarah, do you happen to know the date? I calculated the dates. So we'd have to pass any ordinance. Second reading, in order to meet the deadline of the 180 days before the new term of office is beginning. We'd have to introduce it for first reading on the 7th, which would be your next meeting, with approval on the 21st. If you postpone this decision until the 14th, you'd have to waive the 2-week layover to make your decision by the 21st.
Well, to me, that seems reasonable. That way everyone has the full information and then can vote with all the information, as opposed to voting one way and then change and vote something else that doesn't meet your requirement.
And again, I question that I'm not sure about how, I'm pretty confident saying you can't just choose to withdraw salary. What I can tell you is exactly what the statute says, which is the ordinance fixing compensation for the corporate authorities, meaning alderman and mayor, shall specify whether those members are to be compensated, 1, at an annual rate, a salary, or 2, for each meeting the corporate authorities actually attended if public notice of the meeting was given. So those are the 2 mechanisms created by state statute. Anything else we would do would be trying to rely on home rule powers to try and do it.
So it's one or the other?
According to state statute. And again, we're home rule, so we might be able to muddy that a little bit, as long as that's actually decided before the 180 days.
Okay. Alderwoman Mohawk?
To the point of it doing paid per meeting. So And in all honesty, I'm not running again, so this won't affect me at all. But for those that are thinking about running or already in the seats, if you're getting paid per meeting, whereas, you still have other things to do during the week. If I'm not getting paid, that seems like you're taking pay away for the week. So, I just think about people that when that happens, that maybe they're not going to be as excited to do their other work during the week, perhaps. Especially if it's someone that doesn't agree with this decision.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to approve, but we also have
No motion to postpone, that was
Motion.
seconded.
okay, motion to postpone, so,
To which date? To the next committee meeting?
Right, to the next meeting.
okay, which is, what is it?
Because
2 weeks?
we,
2 weeks?
can I postpone it to the
Twelve
city
seven.
council meeting? Or does it have to go to the committee first? So can I
We're at
post,
committee, so motion to postpone, go to another committee.
okay, but then we could still, then waive it to still meet that 21st requirement.
If the council chose to waive the 2 week, the 2 week layover requirement, yes.
The 14th.
14th?
Yeah.
Motion to postpone till the 14th,
And
is
that does
that
take
right?
precedence.
Yes, that's
Which
what I
is
would
the next committee?
recommend.
Which is the next committee level, committee meeting. Okay? All right, all those in favor of that amendment?
No, motion to postpone.
Motion to postpone. Will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Freeman.
No.
Gramkowski.
Aye.
McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Tell me the motion again so I'm clear.
Motion to postpone until we get further information regarding some of the intangibles, I guess. We'll postpone it to the 14th, to the 14th, the next committee meeting. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay.
Peterson.
Aye.
Stevens.
No.
Albertini.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
8 in favor.
All right, motion passed.
So what I'll try and do to make life easy for that committee meeting is research that question on a set number of absences per year, per quarter. And then before you start receiving a reduction in salary and see if that's feasible, and I'll draft a proposal either way, so the council can go forward at that point.
Okay.
And to adjourn?
Do I have a second? Motion to adjourn by Alderman Albertini, second by Alderwoman Frank. Thank you both. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And anybody want to stay? Motion passed. We'll adjourn for the record at 8:28 PM. Thank you, everybody. Have a good